Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Lunch and Learn for Decisions. I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to join, and then we'll start the conversations. Hello, everyone. Just want to give everyone a couple minutes to join before we get started today. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Decisions Lunch and Learn today. We don't have any pre-submitted questions, so I want to open up to any questions y'all might have. So does anyone have a question? Great. There's no questions. I'll simply start going through some demonstrations here. So before I start this, is there any questions anyone has? I see something in the chat. How then embed JS to our mergeHTMLText field? Okay. Hello.
So, hi. Hello,
So
Tyler. So let me give a brief about what my requirement is. So I have, I use create data, and then I want to add some text in it. So I want to use the current date, month, and year for it. So now my requirement comes in wherein I have to add some padding to the day and the month. So for instance, if the day today is 30th March, so the way that we take from decisions, the dynamic data is going to be 30 and then 3 and then 2022. And my requirement is 30, 03 and then 2022. So I want to have a 0 padded and I want to have double digits against date and month. So that is my requirement. So I wanted to check if there's any JavaScript that I can embed in mergeHTMLText so that I can achieve that.
there's actually a step which does it for you.
Sorry?
There's a step inside Decisions which will do it for you. So right here, you can actually put any date in, and it actually outputs whatever format you're looking to do. So if you're looking to do, it's called get formatted date. If I want to do DD MM, and of course, I'm just going to pick the current date and time because it is 3:30. And then I simply debug this flow. If you look right here, the input is this, and it actually outputs the format you're looking for.
Okay, so what if I don't want to use any delimiters against it? Can I do that also?
Yeah, you can pick any format you're looking to look in there.
Okay, sure. Thank you. I also have some couple of questions apart from this.
Mhm.
So I have a form and I want to have a pop-up. So post the creation of the form. So if you create a form, you have submit or you have cancel. So you would want to show a pop-up whenever you want to cancel, whether you want to change those changes, whether you want to be in this page, and then if you want to submit it, that a confirmation that the changes are saved. So now my question here is that if I want to add a pop-up there, can I add any styling for it? Styling across, the header, and then if I have an OK button, so can I have anything like that? I want to have my own styling for it.
Absolutely. So what I would recommend is using an inform. So is that what you're using currently for your pop-ups, or how are you actually using the pop-ups currently?
So currently we are using it in a bit different way. So we are using the form only, and then when user submits it, so we are using that small form, and then we show it as a confirmation text. But I want to change that and want to check if we can have a pop-up with the design.
Yes. So let me go ahead. I'm just going to create a simple form. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Of course, this is going to have a submit. Cancel. Stuff. So I have a form with a simple input on it.
Okay, but then here we are creating a form, I believe.
So you're creating a sub dialog box and kick off a process.
Okay.
So what are you doing? Are you adding in a form function, or what are you doing right here? Or what are you looking to do?
So
Sorry.
I want to submit. So this is exactly the form that I'm expecting with the submit and a cancel button. And then when user clicks on submit, I want to give him a confirmation that, the form is successfully submitted. And I want to have it in a pop-up. And then I want to have my own CSS for it.
Yeah, so what I would normally recommend doing is, like, on the submit, you're probably doing some processing after the submit, correct? So you're actually saving the data, make sure there's no errors before that, right? So if I want to, I'm just going to do a simple, I'm going to do a run rule step, just have a step in between this. We'll call this So simply create a simple rule right here. And then on this, we actually have an inform step. So what an inform allows you to do is it creates sort of that pop-up end user session. So I want to create a new inform, call this and on this inform, it brings you to a designer, which you can then add in styling. So if I have some styling right here, I'm going to pick in this one. So now you see some styling, and then you can put a label on it, and you can pass data that is saved on there. You say, okay, sorry, excuse me. And then you see right, and then you have an inform right here that they can close that this says, hey, you've been saved and everything's been submitted, right? So if I run this, you're going to see that now I have an inform that pops up, your submission has been successful. That's what I recommend. Of course, you can put a title on it, you can have styling on it. you can have the full features of decisions, but usually what we do is an inform in that situation where it confirms the submission, confirms the process has been saved, confirms the process has been complete. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Can we have, so now this is for the submit case. So now consider that we have that form and then we have some fields. And so there are 5 fields, and then consider that user might have filled 2 or 3 fields, and then now he clicks on cancel. So now if he clicks on cancel, we will have to show them a pop-up that, do you want to save your changes or not? So in a background, I would expect that my form is there, and then on top of that, I would want to see that pop-up, whether you want to save your changes or not. So any way that can be possible.
Yeah. So all you have to do on the form is what I would do, of course, if they're hitting the cancel button, you gotta make sure all your data elements are then passed out the cancel button. Because elements, for it to actually be passed out, for the data to be passed out the cancel flow, the cancel step, you've got to actually make it as an optional output so you can have that data to save. And then what I would do is simply add a second step. That is, it could be an inform or it could be a separate form.
But Tyler, if I were to create a separate form for this pop-up, so will it ensure that I have my form as a background, and on top of that, I'm showing that, small form again?
No, what I would do there, I was going to, if you want that UI UX experience, what I would do on this form is I would change this from a actually button path and change this to an event button. Actually, we can do this, but should create a sub dialog button. And this right here kicks off a flow where you could say, you can have a form right here that could be sorry, take me a second to set this up. Then on submit, it would do a save step, or you actually do a rule. You can, in the UI experience, you can run it different ways. I'm just showing you one example of the build pattern you could do here.
Sure.
Then what you could do here on the true, you could do this, you could do the save step and do what you do right here is you do like an inform session. And this ends the form session that you have right here. And you can say, data has been saved. And of course, on the false, you could do another step. Oh, no, I gotta get the close session, but it should close the session actually. I have to figure out why it's not closing the other form.
Can you maximize the form and run it again?
What, ma'am?
Can you maximize the and click on the button again?
Yeah. And it should be closing, but I don't know why it's not closing this. I'll have to figure out why it's not closing. It should close the form session, but it's not. I have to double check that.
Okay.
It's only closing the first form.
So as you click on subdialog, I just want to see whether that form is visible in the background, which is why I asked you to open it in an maximized mode.
Sorry, I didn't understand that. Sorry. It's there.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Cool.
just out of it's just out of focus.
Sure. Thanks, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
I also have one last question for today. So through decisions, if user wants to land into some page, so we have a dashboard and then we have a page ID and then we can tag it so that user usually lands on a dashboard. So now my question here is there any possibility where user can land on a form with some dynamic input through a URL?
Yeah, so you want them to land on a form. So you want them to launch a flow when they actually, there's two ways to do that, okay? Within dashboards, I don't know if you know this or not. Let me find a dashboard I can edit. Give me one moment. I'll just go in here and just create. So I'm simply create a simple page right here. Within a dashboard, you can always do what is called a flow run part. So if I wanted to do a fun row part, I'm actually going to pick, let's see, where is that? This one right here. Now give me a second to make it chromeless. Now, of course, this is a very, very rudimentary dashboard. So if I want to say, okay, let's go to my test page right here. So I wanted to do my test too. See right here, my form is showing up on the dashboard. And you can pass data onto this. So you can actually run a flow on a dashboard where it shows you see right here, my thing pops up. So you can run a flow on a dashboard also. So that's one way to do it.
So now if end user wants to access this form, user will have only a link, and then without having him enter any dynamic data, can we capture it in a URL and then can we capture them as a flow input?
Yes. So if you need to capture data from the URL, absolutely. You can do that also. So if you want to capture data from a URL, so let me. So what you do is a URL capture flow. Yeah, go in here. Oh, I don't know why that flow is not there. Flow data. Where's my current URL? Give me 1 second.
Sure.
I don't have a URL exposed right here. That I don't want to base URL. I want the base URL. I want the URL. I want I'm trying to find the URL. If I'm not mistaken, it's this URL right here, the folder. I don't have it set up in this environment. But you can just decode the URL and simply have in the format you're looking for.
Okay.
And we can walk you through that. Submit a support case on that one so that you can get some more details. I know we have examples of that and I've done it previously. I'm just struggling to remember exactly how to do that today. So just create a support ticket on that one and you can get the defined data from the URL.
Sure. I'll do that. Thanks, David. That's all I have for today. Thanks for your support.
Mm-hmm. So you have a lot of different things to actually do the URL. Just trying to think what the actual step is.
No problem. I'll raise a ticket so that you'll get some time, or anybody who's working on it will get some time.
Yes. Great questions, though. Is there any other questions we might have?
I don't have any. Thank you.
Does any other attendees have any questions? Well, if there's no other questions that we might have, if anybody else has any questions, please feel free to reach out to support@decisions.com or through our chat functionality, or join us at any Lunch and Learn. If there's more questions, Sabrina, I'm going to head and call it today.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, everyone have a great rest of the day. Just make sure you submit that support ticket for that issue, and then we'll have a great rest of the day. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Tyler.